The ability to know what not to do is the defining characteristic of men who have an innate ability to attract women, as contrasted with those who are perpetually at a loss. The majority of the advice is directed towards guys and their needs for self-assurance, impressing women, and maintaining their interest. Though they are crucial, the blunders you must prevent at all costs are frequently far more so. Simply said, being attractive isn't about doing what's right. It's also about what's not wrong. And this is where the majority of men err. They think they can win her over by just trying harder, being nicer, giving more, and going out of their way to satisfy her. However, there are actions that not only diminish attraction, but completely eliminate it. And what's worse? The majority of guys are blissfully unaware that they are committing these errors. She started treating them differently out of the blue, and they don't understand why she lost interest or distanced herself. However, by the time they realize it, it's already past the deadline. Therefore, we will be removing the background noise today. In a relationship with a woman, you should never do any of these 5 things. Avoid these things at all costs if you want her respect, desire, and real attraction. The first step is to get going. First of all, you should never look to her for validation. The majority of guys are unaware that they are engaging in validation seeking, which is a major attraction killer. It differs in numerous ways. Requiring continual stern prodding. Am I still appealing to you? I thought I offended you. Repetition is the spice of life. I simply wanted to clarify something so there would be no misunderstanding. Be authentic. No one will tell you otherwise. Could I possibly say this? Looking for praise. Are you amused by me? Do you find me attractive? Insecurity is the root cause of validation seeking. It's about letting her determine your value rather than being true to yourself. Now I'll tell you the truth. Nobody wants to be the emotional shoulder cradler for a woman. The instant she realizes she has to do all the work to boost your self-esteem, she loses interest. A man who is secure in his own value is what she seeks. There is no one sitting around hoping she'll tell him he's perfect. When does it end? 1. Distance yourself from her response. Oh, and don't look at her to gauge whether she laughed at what you said. Put her viewpoint out of your mind before making a decision. Remain steadfast. 2. Rather than seeking validation, provide it. Oh, forget about relying on her validation of your value. Flip the script. Look at her. Test her mettle. Express your admiration for her character flaws as much as her physical attractiveness. 3. Keep in mind that she prefers self-assurance over neediness. Oh, self-assurance isn't synonymous with hubris. Being confident is more important than worrying about her approval. Men respect men who don't try to prove themselves. Attraction follows a man who is respected. Thing 2. You should never hold her in high esteem. Many men hold the perilous misconception that women will reciprocate their kingly treatment if they do the same to them. However, it's actually the other way around. Elevating a woman makes her look down on you. Worship does not create attraction, which is something that most men fail to see. It is constructed by showing respect, and behaving superiorly to a woman will earn you neither her respect nor her admiration. You shouldn't treat her unfairly because of this. This indicates that you ought to regard her more as a human being than a divinity. Just so you know, she's not interested in being worshipped. Challenges, intrigue, and active participation are what she seeks. A man who puts her at her level, not her level below, is what she seeks. Then how can you avoid thinking of her as a goddess? Avoid being too complimentary. Oh, she will eventually cease believing it when you rave about her all the time. Earned and uncommon compliments have more impact. Embrace your independence. Typically, a man's lack of other redeeming qualities is the reason he elevates a woman on a pedestal. Get going. Establish objectives. Stay focused. Third, confront her. Oh, speak up if she acts disrespectfully. Do not put up with her haughty behavior. A woman will regard a man more if he is strong and assertive. No woman ever falls for a man just because he thinks she's beautiful. Because being in his presence makes her feel something genuine. She finds herself falling for him. Fantasy is devoid of genuine appeal. Point number 3. You should never give her power over the relationship. You will be put to the test by a woman. This is not due to her manipulative nature. It is not due to her cruelty. Reason being, she must know your true identity. Your resilience, self-assurance, and capacity to persevere will be put to the test by her. Plus, she'll stop respecting you if you mess up. Allowing a woman to control the course of a relationship is the worst thing a man can do. When you give in to her every demand in an effort to maintain harmony, this is what happens. Because you don't want to offend her, you let her decide everything. Even when you're completely innocent, you can't help but apologize. Ladies, they prefer not to be in charge. She looks to you for assurance that you can. To lead is not to exert dominion. It denotes a bearing. A woman can have faith in a man if he has a clear direction and is unwavering in his pursuit of it. She will harbor resentment toward you if you provide her control. Rule number 4. You should never be scared to give up. A guy's allure quickly fades when he's terrified of losing a lady. Men who are afraid of losing a woman will do anything to keep her around, even if it means compromising their values, putting up with disrespect, or enduring emotionally taxing situations. However, the contradiction is this. Whoever retains a lady the longest is the one who is least scared to lose her, because she is desperate enough to know that he is not with her. He chose to be with her. Honesty and integrity are the bedrock of all attraction, so it's no surprise that women are drawn to men who stay for the right reasons, rather than out of obligation. You become overly accommodating, though, when you're afraid of losing her. You cease to establish limits. You chose to ignore rudeness. To avoid upsetting others, you put up with unacceptable behavior. And by doing so, you risk sending the message to her that you value her company more than anything else in the world. Nobody wants to be your reason for being. They would rather not be the glue that keeps you together. They want you to believe that you are perfectly capable of handling life on your own. The strength of absence. Quitting isn't about wasting time. It's not about proving a point or making her chase you. Dignity is at stake. A man's departure communicates his standards and boundaries, and his refusal to be involved when they are not satisfied. A woman's mentality is profoundly affected by this. This man is unique, she thinks to herself. Most males are tolerant of inappropriate conduct. Most guys will do anything, alter their character, and settle for less than they're worth if it means she'll stay. A man with options is one who can walk away, and it's no secret that handsome men tend to have options. Distancing oneself emotionally. Men that have self-esteem naturally attract women. Your inability to leave an unhealthy relationship sends 3 messages. First, that you don't think you can improve. Second, that you rely too much on her emotionally. And third, that you'll put up with anything to keep her at your side. Nothing about these things is appealing. Actually, they act in reverse. However, she goes into an automatic reaction mode the moment you step away. She thinks you're the type of man who could lose her at any moment. She knows she has to give it her all if she wants to hold on to you. For the simple reason that women desire not a man who can be controlled. When it comes to choosing a partner, they prefer to earn him. Disrespect can manifest in various ways, and she exhibits it when she ignores your thoughts and feelings, makes fun of your goals and aspirations, and is always trying to test your tolerance. If you put up with it, she'll learn it's okay. 2. When she's manipulative, For example, when she's wildly inconsistent, when she relishes leading you on, and when you're not sure of her intentions, it's important to be cautious. Not love, but power plays. 3. Reciprocate her enthusiasm and depart when she shows signs of disinterest, such as withdrawing, not participating, or treating you like an option. You should never ask for favors. If she truly appreciates you, she will feel your absence. Ways to depart with fortitude. First, do it without making an announcement. Oh, you'll regret this and other such antics from weak males. Men of strength, they vanish into thin air. Second, it's not about her. Focus on yourself. You're not going to abandon her as a form of punishment. If something isn't working for you, you're not going to stay, so you're walking away. Third, keep moving forward. Oh, the gravest error that males may commit. Leaving, but then returning later by texting, checking in, or hoping she returns. When you walk, it's for the right reasons. The end reality. The ability to walk away is a sign of a guy who values his dignity more than any short-term ease. A woman would be heartbroken to lose a man like that. Tip number 5. Stay true to yourself at all times. Men who are secure in who they are and who doesn't change or bend to match the demands of others are more attractive to women than those who are inflated with ego or fake bravado. Any woman worth her salt will eventually grow tired of a man who isn't consistent, who says one thing and does another, who acts differently depending on his companions, and who chameleons his personality. She longs for a rock-solid man who can stay true to himself no matter the circumstances, for she craves a foundation that can withstand any storm. Not to mention the unfortunate reality. Without recognizing it, the majority of men flunk this exam. They justify their actions by saying they're simply reading the room and being flexible. To avoid controversy and be loved, they alter their humor, values, and opinions. What they fail to realize, though, is that when they change to suit other people, they always compromise some of their own selves. Plus, that's the quickest way to lose interest. In a companion, women naturally desire stability, emotional and psychological stability, not merely material or social stability. The biological basis for this is that, particularly in prehistoric periods, a woman's ability to survive hinged on her ability to choose a trustworthy guy, someone who would remain unflappable under pressure, courageous in the face of peril, and honest in his dealings with others. So, her gut tells her a man is dangerous when he is inconsistent. His moods change erratically. His words don't match his deeds, and he acts one way in public and another in private. She will begin to distance herself, even if she isn't aware of it happening. She will put him through further obstacles. She would gradually lose interest in him. I don't think he's evil, but he lacks substance. The first way, inconsistency, destroys all affection. She starts to doubt your identity as a result. Your partner will never be able to trust you if you're constantly putting on a show. She will begin to question your credibility, question your motives, and eventually lose interest. 2. It shows a lack of strength, not flexibility. Oh, a resilient man may change with the times without compromising his identity. Nothing changes about him. He's the same person at a party as he is in a meeting, and he's reassuring to a friend. But it appears weak, like he requires external approval to function, when a man's appearance varies entirely depending on his surroundings. Thirdly, she feels threatened. For example, you might claim to like in-depth discussions one day and pretend otherwise the next. How hypocritical of you to broach the subject of commitment just as quickly as you brought it up. Oh, if you put on an air of self-assurance around your pals, but feel anxious when you're alone, the two of you. Whoa, she won't know which you to believe, and a lady who isn't trusting of you will never want you for who you really are. 4. Being unmovable is powerful. Throughout history, the most alluring and influential men have been those who refused to conform to societal norms. Consider the Roman emperor, philosopher, and leader, Marcus Aurelius. He never budged from his ideals, refusing to bend to the will of the people, no matter how much mayhem surrounded him. Bruce Lee, if you choose. In combat, he did adapt. His philosophy, discipline, and essence, however, stayed constant throughout his life. The most alluring guys, even in this day and age, are those who refuse to back down. Just to be clear, I am not being belligerent or unyielding. Rather, I am stating my identity. I will change. I will develop. I will always remain loyal to myself, and that is really unusual. I am impressed. 1. How can I begin to be more consistent? Establish and maintain your principles. Oh, it's easy to be swayed by manipulative people when you lack self-confidence. Spend some time thinking about what's important to you. Do not, once you have done so, let the discomfort of a situation lead you to abandon your values. The second is to always act like the same man. Always act in the same way, no matter who you're with, your boss, your best friend, or the woman you have feelings for. You should change your strategy as appropriate, but your character should remain constant. Third, practice what you preach. Do what you claim you're going to do. Stick to your word if you say you have a certain way of thinking. When there is a discrepancy between what you say and what you do, you instantly become untrustworthy and unattractive. What you do matters less than what you refuse to put up with if you want to attract someone. When a man acts inconsistently, puts a woman on a pedestal, seeks validation from her, fears leaving the relationship, or seeks approval from others, he loses respect, power, and, eventually, desire. However, the kind of man she recalls is one who is unwavering, confident in himself, fearless in leadership, and who never lowers his standards for himself. She regards that man highly. She wants that man. It is uncommon to find a man who remains unmoved in a world where most men bend, break, or beg. Consider this. Are you the type of guy that women adore? Or are you no different from any other guy who wants her approval? It is up to you to decide. Stay tuned for more insightful content if you enjoyed this. Continue to be resilient and focused, and I will see you in the subsequent one.